big house and the nice car because we want to walk around a huge house to go toilet and we want to break speed limits. A lot of it is just a status signal to show the world, look, I'm important. Look what I've done.
To be accepted.
To be accepted.
Why
Yeah,
do you
it's status
feel love,
signaling.
bro?
But that's
It's
what I'm saying.
status
Why do you
signaling.
think guys are so afraid to say, yo, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to make all these millions to get a girl?
But it's not about being afraid to say it. I think that's just I think that's a given. It's not about just to get a girl. You know what men also want? Men want respect of other men.
Yeah.
We want to be seen we want to be respected, right? We don't want to walk into a room and not be respected.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things we do to be respected. It's the reason certain men, it's the reason he's so fucking big. It's the reason I fought. It's like you want to be respected. You don't want to walk in a room and everyone go, this guy, right? Yeah. You want to be respected by men and women alike. We're social animals. And this is why Alexander the Great conquered the known universe. This is why Genghis Khan conquered basically the whole world and said, find something else for me to conquer. Don't give a find somebody and take it. Because you want to, I'm the top G. That's life. That's why I conquered the internet.
Yo, Dr. Tate. Dr. Tate, you're the GOAT. Straight up.
Like I mean, I grew up without a father in that sense. The reason why you talk about being big, like the thing that had me.
Damn, bro. I don't know. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Bradley always gets emotional, bro. Especially when he talks about his father, he always gets crazy emotional, bro. Oh, it's kind of crazy. I don't know.
And it made me feel like, okay, this is why this is so important to me, is because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be respected. I wanted to feel like I'm going to say, like I've been saying this time, is I wanted to feel loved. And I thought that being bigger or being stronger or like would make me look obviously less weak to other men. I'd feel like maybe some acceptance of other people that I would consider father figures throughout my life.
Yep.
And on top of that, the thing that I keep trying to get you to talk about or to answer is like the ability to be vulnerable as men is not something that we're taught. In fact, it's something that I think we're taught to not be vulnerable, to not be emotional, to not.
Tate, you're not a big vulnerability guy, though, right?
No, he's not. I just want to talk about it.
But that discomfort that you just described.
All right, wait. So real quick, guys, do you believe that men should be vulnerable around women? One, if you agree that men should be vulnerable around women. Two, if you think men shouldn't be vulnerable around women. Babe, what do you think?
I think
that I'm pretty sure that's the conversation that he wants to have.
I think yes, but it has to be not all the time, not every like day and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it is important to be vulnerable around your woman.
I think what the most concerning thing about why men say you shouldn't be vulnerable around women specifically is because if you one time, let's say I start crying, I'm like, you know what, I see myself, I have a lot of doubt. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of doubt in myself. I go off, I'm like crying, I'm blah, blah, blah. I feel comfortable in doing that now. Now I'm training myself every time that I do that. And when I feel this way, I'm just going to put it on my girl because she's going to make me feel comfortable. And it's almost like a coping mechanism to feel comfortable, right? I don't think that's the way in which you should be able to communicate your feelings. I think that an effective way to communicate your feelings is when you're going through something and you have a problem, you internalize it. Right? Maybe you're at work, you feel some kind of way or whatever. Matter of fact, today, something's going on with my grandma, right? She's in the hospital. She went to the emergency room. My mother got hysterical, bro. Like she bought a flight, had to dip. We're getting the news in real time, like, yo, what's going on? Like we're trying to get updated. Like, does she have cancer? Does she not have cancer? Like, what's up? I'm getting all these news. My mom is crazy, like crying, all this stuff, bro. And like I'm trying to be tough for her, driving her towards the airport. You know, she's hysterical and shit like that. I'm like, that's her mother. I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's my grandmother. Like I'm also, but I'm like, we don't know what's going on yet. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be strong. I have to be a pillar for my mother because like I'm not gonna fall for her tears. You know what I'm saying? Like. Then we're both going to be like super vulnerable. I'm like, somebody needs to be strong in this situation. Somebody needs to be level-headed. We don't know the full information yet. Somebody needs to be optimistic. I'm going to be the optimistic one, right? So what I do, I come back, I drop her off. She goes, great. I come back, I start rolling with my cousin, and like we're getting the news. And my mom calls me. She's like, oh my God, she has cancer, all this different stuff. And I'm like, wait, hold up, back up. What did the doctor say? The doctor said, he's starting to say she thinks she might have it. But we're not sure. We still have to run one more test. So now I'm like, fuck, bro. Now it's looking bad. Now it's like, but we won't know in a few hours. So I'm working out with my cousin. I'm telling him this shit. And we still got to train. We're not going to stop. We're not going to cry. Like at that time, I'm not going to lie. We felt a little emotional. But we had to suck it up. We had to deal with it. We had to finish our training because we're not going to stop our training. We had to keep going, keep the pace going, because somebody's got to be level-headed. We can't overly get emotional. We can't like allow this to affect our entire day. You know what I'm saying? So thank God we did that. We got a good session in. After that, you know, we're walking around, we're talking, normal stuff. We get back. My uncle calls. Turns out it's in the clear. She got her surgery. It's all good. So like there's no issue there. And I'm like, damn, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like we still did what we have to do. And I didn't even mention any of this to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even have a moment to really stop and talk to you about it. And I really wasn't going to until like I had a solution. So my point is that I think you only open up with something vulnerable, and you have to suck it up when you have the solution, when you're able to deal with it truly. You know what I'm saying? I think you just gain a lot more respect out of that way. And that's the most effective way of being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but I still think that sometimes the more you hide your emotions in, the more cold-hearted you look in my eyes, the more I think like, oh, but what if I'm gonna be in trouble? Is this only the way he's going to act? Like he's not gonna like actually care? Because for me, I understand that you do care by thinking rationally, right? As you, from your man's perspective. But for girls' perspective, caring is being emotional. And if I don't see you being emotional, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that important.
Emotional is fine. You know, I think emotional is like you guys want intimacy and romanticism, right? And I agree with that. I think women need plenty of that. What I'm talking about is like vulnerability. So it's like maybe self-doubt, maybe unsure of something.
Yes,
you know what I'm
no,
saying?
exactly. Like if you're going through something like this and you don't show me your emotions, you don't show what's going.
I said, what a stupid example. What an asshole, bro. Fuck you. All right, what?
No, I'm saying, if you're going through something like this and you don't communicate with me about how you feel.
Okay, well, these guys are saying being vulnerable does not equate to informing your partner of an ill family member. You know, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. My point is that at that moment I felt vulnerable. At that moment I kind of felt like crying, but I had to kind of suck it up. Like that's the way in which I just had to suck it up at that moment because nobody was really sure, and I had to get through what I had to do throughout the day. And then once everything was kind of like solved, or at least we had like a clear direction where we're going, like I'm able to be a lot more open about it. I'm able to be like, yo, honestly, at this moment I was scared, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I wanted to cry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at that moment, maybe I'll tear up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because like depending on how I'm explaining it, right? Like I'll allow my emotions to go through. But my point is that a man should really open up and be vulnerable with his girl when he's already dealt with it himself. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys are saying it right here. Like you should only don't be vulnerable. Go to men friends for problem solving, right? Like that's the way I go on about it. Everybody's saying I'm babbling. Fuck you guys. All right, what do you think? End it up.
I think you should share your.
You should share my vulnerability.
Yes.
Like I said, I think that if you're gonna be vulnerable, just be effective. Be effective. Don't go and cry about shit just to cry about it, just to be comforted. I think that if you're gonna share something, it should be meaningful. It should be valuable, and it should be.
Sometimes you just gotta share it just because you need to get it out of your chest. That's it.
I don't know. I think you just suck it up. That's my opinion. I think you just suck it up.
Has led to a massive positivity in your life.
Absolutely.
I can say the absolute same thing for fighting. I decided to go out and learn to fight to the level I learned to fight because I had a couple fights in school and I won them, but it was kind of close. And I was like, that was too close for comfort. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go learn to fight. And it's absolutely often discomfort and trauma and bad things that will motivate you to go and do the most amazing things. Like we said earlier, you have to take the negativity and use it in a positive manner. Like we said about stress, it can go in different directions. I'll tell you right now, if you were to say to me, Andrew, you have to make double the money you're currently making, what's the number one emotion you want to feel to do it? I'd say heartbreak.
Yeah.
Stress. Break my heart. Break my heart. I can't sleep. I'm furious. Break my heart and I'll make a fucking $1 billion. Yeah. Take all the negativity and turn it into positivity. So that trauma and all those bad things that happen, you can be very, very positive things and give you a positive aspect of life if you approach it in the right way. Most people are told when you feel sad, sit at home, be sad. It's not your fault. You got a disease. You're depressed. Be a bitch about it. I argue the opposite. I say when you feel sad, good. Take all that energy and convert it into something that's going to be a positive force for your life.
Would you say that even though...
So that's what I'm trying to say is like... It's kind of like that. It's like, you know, be effective with your vulnerability. Like he says, take a negativity and turn it to positivity. That's what I'm saying. When you have a problem, you deal with it, and then you have a solution. And then when you talk about it, you talk about the problem, what you went through, and then you state the solution. You know what I'm saying? At least you're active, forwardly thinking. And if you want to cry in that moment, that's really up to you. That's on you. I wouldn't really recommend crying in front of girls, honestly. Like, but you know, because most men become just too comfortable with doing that. You get what I'm saying? And I think there's a reason why, like, we gotta suck it up. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why we gotta suck, because somebody's gotta be strong. Like, and that was the example I was giving you, like in the car driving with my mom to the airport. It's like she was crying, bawling, and all that shit. I held her hand. I made sure I comforted her in all that ways, but it's like I couldn't really allow myself to cry because I'm like, somebody's got to be strong for her. You know what I'm saying? She's got to know. My mom still has, she's thinking so pessimistically. She's thinking the worst things. She needs to know that somebody is thinking logically and reason, and somebody's like driving this car forward. You get what I'm saying? And is not getting in their emotions. So it's like that's kind of how I handle that situation with vulnerability. So
that's great.
Agree or disagree?
Even we're also taught to like stuff it away and not like not actually think about it. Not actually go through it, not actually process it.
Don't embrace it and feel it. You should feel all of your emotions. If I feel sad, I embrace it and I feel it. I'll tell you right now, the largest monumental jumps in my life in terms of success is when I was pissed off or sad.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like I could tell you, like all the time I spent in the gym to build myself, I was using that stress, I was using that trauma to make myself better.
Completely.
And that's what made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
But
all the bad things that happen to you and make you feel in a bad way, some of those bad things that made me feel in a bad way were the most important energy sources for the most monumental jumps in my life.
But you see what he said? He said that he used all the heartbreak. Bradley Martin said, I used all the heartbreak, all the sadness I was going through. He actively did something with it. He didn't sit at home crying, eating fucking ice cream, you know what I'm saying? Wondering, pointing the finger at her, pointing the finger at whatever the problem is, at the fucking manager that yelled at you or some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? He took it upon himself to take that fucking feeling and take it out on the fucking weights. Same thing I do. I take it out on the fucking bag. I wake up, I got a lot of anger, I got a lot of energy. So how do I, when I know I have so much anger, so much energy every single day that I wake up, right? How do I take it out? I take it out on the bag, then the energy comes down, and then I'm a lot more focused. I'm a lot more clear-headed. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm in control of the energy. The energy's not in control of me. So like, that's what I think he's trying to say.
Well, yeah. My biggest achievement.
I just feel like people should be taught to be more vulnerable and raw with themselves, to allow themselves to see that truth so that they can make that progress in their life. And not enough people are comfortable with that.
Completely.
Yeah,
they need
heartbreak made me go crazy.
Yeah. Good. But you went crazy. And this is the thing. You went crazy.
Like success though.
Good. Perfect. But there's a whole bunch of men who go crazy and just fucking call a bitch a trillion times. Should have gone to the gym instead. Same energy in a different place. So yeah, you have to feel vulnerable. You have to feel the emotions, and whether they're negative or positive, you have to embrace them and turn them into the best possible fuel to send yourself in your life.
Is there anything we haven't covered that you want to talk about?
Why are you trying to end the fucking podcast, dude?
I'm not.
Come on.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got any more questions in that little list?
No, what
You didn't want to answer them. Those were fans. Those were fan questions, Andrew.
They were fan questions?
Yeah, you think I would write?
No,
something
he
like
wrote
that?
those in the car on the way over here. I swear.
Yeah,
You
that's
got a guy like that and a guy like me too that were like, "Yo, this guy's fucking pushing us to be better," but that's never seen.
Yeah, I understand. I understand, but I think that personally, I think I'm in a redemption arc, and I think that whether it's the Bible or the Quran or a superhero movie, there's always a guy who's misunderstood and everyone thinks he's bad, and then they realize they needed Batman after all.
Can I join your team?
Listen, 95. Like I said, my team are monitoring social media contents in real time.
This guy's just jumping fucking Steve. Now, what's going on here, dude?
It's cool.
Come on.
It's like peers all over again. You know?
No, you're my boy, though.
Wow.
But no, it's already happened. It's already done. And I have no problem with people disliking me. I didn't go on the internet expecting everybody to like me. I know there's a bunch of people who are going to misunderstand me. I know I'm doing good for the world. I live with a pure heart. I know that I'm a positive influence. I go to sleep with a clear conscience, and that's what matters more to me than a bunch of bullshit and idiots. But
All right, you think they're finishing up? I mean, still got 10 minutes, but yeah, I think you're right. They're finishing up.
Like they not gonna talk about something else right now.
All right, cool. So, all right, somebody said, only thing I ever cried for was when my cat died. Didn't even cry when my parents died, even though I loved them. Damn, bro. I mean, I don't got a button for that, bro. But you know, rest in peace to your parents. All respect. As far as you not crying, I mean, I don't know, man. If my parents passed away, I'd definitely allow myself to cry, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like.
Absolutely,
I got a lot.
You
like
should.
that's the one moment where I'd be like, nah, like I kind of have to. I would like to know as to the reason as to why you didn't cry. Like, what was the reason for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because suppressing it and ignoring it, that's not the way in which you should deal with your emotions, and that's not what I'm trying to say. You shouldn't suppress it and ignore it, right? There are times where you should suppress it and wait for it, and then internalize it within yourself and communicate it to the people that you trust around you, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's a process, right? it's not just regressing and holding it back and never dealing with it. Like that's the wrong way to go about feelings, because then what happens is you implode and then you explode on the people that you care about, right? Like that does happen.